Jamaica, the parish of Clarendon. I grew up in the city of Mapen. I attended Mapen Infant School, then I went on to Mapen Primary, and from there I went to Kyeremeh High School, where I was also the head girl for that high school. And after high school, I went to Teachers College. So I went to Shorty Teachers College. I spent 3 years there. And after I finished my diploma, I went back to my high school to teach for 2 years before moving on to another high school, which is Jamaica College, all boys, and then on to university to study bachelor's in economics. And after I finished my bachelor's, I went on to do a master's in economics, all from the University of the West Indies, Jamaica, Mona campus. And after I finished UA, I stayed there a year. I taught for a year. I coordinated their summer program. And then I left in 2003 to McGill University in Canada to pursue my PhD. And I've been in Canada for the last 18 years. I've been in high school teaching, let's say, for maybe 10 years. Yeah, because I taught at Kyeremeh, which was my own high school, and then I taught at Jamaica College. And my mom used to tell me I used to beat the trees. They were my students. So I would say teaching is what I wanted to do because I had an aunt that was a teacher and I really admired her. I think that gave me the passion for teaching. I entered Mona to study Bachelor's of Science in Statistics. When I got to campus, there was a scholarship for economics. So I switched and I did economics and I fell in love with economics. And so once I started studying, I had a professor, Professor Al Francis, who died a couple of years ago. He mentored me from first year all the way up to my final year. And after that, I wanted to study, to be an economist. But he was an economist and a statistician. I actually moved to Canada to do the PhD because Prof. Francis told me that if I wanted to teach at the university, because when I finished my master's, I taught at UA for 1 year. And then he encouraged me that if I wanted to stay in that field, I should actually do the PhD because I actually did an MSc. And an MSc is not really a teaching degree, even though I had a diploma in teaching. So he encouraged me to go study. So I got accepted to University of British Columbia and McGill University. So I chose McGill. When I finished McGill, I actually said I wanted to spend 2 years in Canada to study. So I finished McGill in 2008. And I said I was going home in 2010. And then I started working for the Competition Bureau of Canada. So I worked there from 2008 till 2014. And then after that, I just stayed in Canada. I even applied for residency as a student at McGill. So, and then I've been there ever since. My story is interesting in how I got connected to All Nations. So the very first day that I started at the Bureau, and that was June 2008. The first week, my computer broke down. And so during that time, there was this guy, he was even from Africa. He told me that he wanted me to help write curricula for a university. And I asked which university. He said All Nations. But the university is sponsored by his church, which is All Nation Full Gospel Church. So he invited me to church. But I grew up as an Adventist, so I was kind of iffy as whether to join a Pentecostal church or not. And so there was a couple that were from Jamaica, so they helped me to adapt to the church. And then in 2009, I met Dr. Donkor. Said he wanted me to come to Ghana to see what it was like first. And I remember coming here in July 2010. That was my first time coming to Ghana. I remember when I landed, Dr. Donkor said, "Welcome home." I was like, home? But the thing about Ghana is that it's a country that we have already learned. When I was a student in primary school, we learned about the cocoa plantation of Ghana. We knew that our roots was here because a few of our national heroes are actually, I'm a product of slavery. So they were actually from that sojourn. So you had that connection. And if you talk to a lot of Jamaicans, they'll tell you that they actually want to visit Ghana. So I was excited to come. I came in 2010, I went back to Canada, and then my next trip was 2012. That's when I started helping with the university, but I was going back and forth. So I started staying more committed to the university in 2014 when I joined the church. I don't think it was that the curriculum wasn't good enough. It's just that they wanted people from the diaspora to kind of give back to Africa, because Dr. Donkor believes that we should come back and help. And so it has nothing to do whether the curriculum was good or not. It was just our way of helping. What ways can you help? Can you help financially? Can you help academically? Can you help by mentorship? So that was, I think, the motivation for asking me to help. In Canada, a lot of I find that for us as a student, and then I went as a PhD, not as a bachelor student, right? So a lot of the learning were on you. The classes were larger too. I actually was a TA at McGill as well, so I was on both sides of the academic. And I find that a lot of the learning is on you, and you're more responsible for what your degree in per se. I even remember telling students, even if I go back to Jamaica, my admissions letter to the University of the West Indies said, you're here to read for a degree. So I've always had that mentality that you're here to read for your degree. So whatever degree you get, it's on you. Yeah. Here in ANU, I've not been to the public university in Ghana, but in ANU, you're kind of, the lecturers take on a lot more responsibility in trying to help your students succeed. So that could be one of the differences. I have a team of people, young people that I work with. I would love to think that I'm mentoring them, and I guess I'll see the reward later. I want to be able to make that impact on the people that I connect with, and then they in turn will be able to help Ghana move forward and where it is now. And I think if I can make an impact on those around me, I think they will go and do what must be done to bring Ghana to the next level. We have a small network in terms of, I have friends even in the US that wants to connect with Ghana. They want to help, just seeing how we can. I have friends in also the UK that wants to connect. So we have network. It's just what we want to do, how we're going to do it, and when. I think that eventually we have all gone out there and we have all been educated, we have all been, something has been poured into us, and I think that we should all come back, and we don't have to, in any way we can, we need to come back and give to our own countries, because a lot of people, a lot of these third world countries or developing countries suffer from brain drain.